Okay, so Ms. Walker told me that you guys have a research project coming up at the beginning of October. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about just an introduction to research. I'm pretty sure it's not something that you covered in elementary school, right? Getting a lot of blank faces, so I'm guessing that's a no. So we're going to be talking a little bit about how to evaluate sources. Just give me your answer. If you have a question, any question, what's the first thing you do? What's the first thing you do? You just have a question, and what's the first thing that you think to do? Yeah, there's no right or wrong answer, guys. Yes. Raise your hand. What I mean is you're at home and you have a question about anything. What do you automatically do? You look it up. And what platform do you use for that usually? Google, right? Guys, that's the answer I'm looking for because that's what we normally do. That's what I do. That's what my husband does. That's what all my family members do. We tend to just go straight to Google, right? Because Google knows all. But do you think that all the information that you get from Google is trustworthy? No, right? It's not always reliable. Sometimes it's reliable, right? Sometimes you could get some really good information, but it's not always reliable, and that's the problem. So we don't like to use Google and just anything Google tells us. We don't want to trust it for something like academic research. When you're doing a research project for Ms. Walker, we don't just want to trust anything Google has to say, okay? So we need to learn what to trust and what not to trust, right? And the way that we do that is by evaluating little things here and there about the website that you're going to, okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about. Please open your Chromebooks, and you're going to be going to Clever. All right, and that is your code. Did I already teach some of you today?
Yeah.
I know I recognize your hat. Yeah, okay. Well, welcome back. It's 2NC8Q. If it asks you for your name, guys, you could just put your first name. I'm not going to be picky. And you can put a nickname, just be appropriate, please. Make it appropriate. Sometimes it automatically adds space before the code for some reason, so just delete the entire thing. All right, raise your hand, please, if you're already there. We got 1, 2. Girls, raise your hand. Are you already there? Still, okay, 1. If it's a white screen, refresh it. of time, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, but the code is gonna stay at the top, okay? All right, so what are some things that make a source of information trustworthy or reliable? Just think about it. There's no right or wrong answer here. Just tell me what you think. What are some things that tell you that a source can be trusted? When you go to a website, what are some things that stand out to you? That, I can trust this information. What do you think it is? Is there anything that stands out to you? Just go to the circulation desk.
You work in the tech area?
Yes, please. Just what are some things that stand out to you? Is it the .com, the .org, the .edu? What is it? You tell me. Because some websites are pretty obvious. Like, I don't know if this information is probably not that reliable. Okay? A lot of details, okay. Gonna wait a little bit longer. Okay. So this one stood out to me because you already know a little bit about it. So if you already know a little bit about the information that you're researching and the website you go to, that information doesn't really make sense, that could tell you that it's not reliable, right? You can't really trust it. Very good. Okay, we're gonna move on, guys, for the sake of time. Thank you. Okay, in the modern world, we are fortunate to have a vast quantity of information available to us. Thanks to the internet, with all the information, however, we may encounter sources that are not from reputable sources. What makes a source of information credible or trustworthy? Okay, we're gonna watch this short video. Guys, it provides you a lot of information about things to look out for when it comes to websites. I don't expect you to memorize all of it, okay? I totally get it. It's giving you a lot of information. Just try to see if you can catch on to at least 2 things that you can look out for when you go to a website, okay? Yes. Refreshment. Okay, so we're gonna look out for 2 things we can do when we go to a source or a website in order to indicate whether it's something we can trust or not, okay? Kind of cheesy, I'm sorry.
This video will show you how to evaluate sources by looking at the author, the audience, the review process, the currency, and the perspective. Please see our other videos on how to search databases and the catalog. Stanford's Nerd Squirrel found a lot of sources by looking through books, magazines, newspapers, journal articles, and websites for material to support its arguments for a research paper. Nerd Squirrel has even been to the Stanford University archives to find primary source materials. But what materials are acceptable for a research paper? How does the Nerd Squirrel decide? It's not easy, but Nerd Squirrel is up to the job. Nerd Squirrel can detect which sources are the best by following these steps. Step 1. Who created the source? Is the author credible? An expert in the field? Is there a list of references or a bibliography? Step 2. Who is the author speaking to? The general public? Experts in the field? Special interest groups? Step 3. Has the source been reviewed by scholars in the field for accuracy and credibility? Databases let you limit your search results to scholarly, peer-reviewed articles. Step 4. How recent is the source? And does it matter? Sometimes older is better. Step 5. What is the purpose of the source? Is it trying to educate? Provide factual information? Influence? Sell something? You can still use the source as long as you acknowledge its bias or perspective. Step 6. Let's look at domains. Some domain names are considered more credible than others. .edus are educational sites, and they are usually trustworthy. Sometimes, though, people can post information that universities are not aware of or do not condone. For example, this article on gun control is on the Duke University's People page, and it asks you to join the NRA at the bottom. The tilde in the address bar can be a giveaway that this is a personal website and may not be sanctioned by the educational institution in the URL. .gov sites are created by government agencies and are also generally trustworthy. You have to be more careful about .com sites. Some are trustworthy. Other .com sites are trying to sell you something. While .org sites are created by organizations, some are trustworthy and some are not. Always independently research the organization. Don't rely on the website's About page. Other ways to learn about the website are to check the Who Is record to find out who sponsored the page, dig into the policies of the organization, and read news articles or reports about the organization. To highlight the differences in sources, let's look at this example. Nerd Squirrel searched for Martin Luther King Historical Examination in SearchWorks and found many scholarly books. This Stanford.edu site is an example of a reputable one. Many academic articles that come from databases are online, so they may appear on a .com website. Next, Nerd Squirrel searched the ProQuest database for Martin Luther King Historical Examination. Just like the search result, this academic database is also a reputable site. For its next test, Nerd Squirrel searched for Martin Luther King Historical Examination, this time using Google Scholar. As expected, these results look good and are from reputable sites. Just because it's the internet does not mean it's factual. For its final test, Nerd Squirrel did the same search, but this time just Googled it. The first Google result is from a .org domain that even has Martin Luther King in the URL. That was easy. It looks professionally designed, it has a civil rights library link, and even a pop quiz for students. This is a perfect time for Nerd Squirrel to review its checklist. Who created it? Who is the author speaking to? Has the source been reviewed? How recent is it? What is the purpose? What is the domain? Remember to search the organization independently. The first step on the checklist was to identify the author. This website does that on the bottom of the page. The author is Stormfront, and the link might tell you more about who put the site together. Oh my! Even though this is not a reputable site, you might want to use it in your paper anyway. It depends on the point you want to make, but it's important to acknowledge the author's perspective. Nerd Squirrel might have thought that finding reputable sources online was easy, but now it's learned the importance of evaluating each source critically. Nerd Squirrel has finished evaluating its sources. That was tough, but that's what
All right, a lot of information, okay? That's what I meant. Okay, so what are some things that stood out? Remember, I only told you to pick two. Two things to look out for when you go to a website. You don't need to remember all of it. Guys, we're not at the college level quite yet, okay? But give me at least two, yeah.
What is the purpose and who created it?
What is the purpose? That's probably one of my favorites, guys, because a lot of people create websites to try to sell you stuff, don't they? There's always some sort of agenda there, right? So thank you for mentioning that. What is the purpose and what was the other one?
Who created it?
Who created it, right? Who is the author? Okay, can somebody give me another one? Something to look out for. What about the end of the URL? .com, .edu. Which ones do you think you can trust the most? .coms? .gov, okay. Sometimes, right? Sometimes. Which one can you probably trust the least? I'm gonna give them to you all. .com, .edu, .gov, .org. which one do you think you can probably trust the least, or the one you need to be a little bit more cautious about? What do y'all think? Yeah. .coms, guys, .coms. Because .coms, anyone can really create. I can create a .com, right? I can create a website. I'm a horrible cook. I'm not a good cook, but I can start an entire website sounding like I know exactly what I'm talking about. But the truth is I don't. Okay? Very good. All right. Okay, we already talked about that together. Okay, so just to review, when evaluating sources, ask yourself the following questions. Who wrote the information? Okay, who wrote it? When was it published? If this was written a very, very, very long time ago, it's extremely outdated, just like our nonfiction section, okay? A lot of those books are very outdated, so I need to go through and start weeding those out because times have changed, medicine has changed, everything has changed, okay? So it needs to be current information. Does the information appear biased, like it's trying to sway you in a particular direction? Is it trying to sell you something? Who is the intended audience? And how reliable or correct is the information? So one thing, I've gone to websites, guys, and there's like typos in there, or there's words that are misspelled. That's a clear indication right there. That's probably not something I should really trust, right? Somebody out there just kind of wrote and threw together whatever, and so maybe I shouldn't trust that website, right? Very good. So accuracy. So why is it important to evaluate sources of information you use to conduct research? Answer this on your own. I think this is gonna be the last question I have for you before I start showing you what databases you can use for your projects. Everybody has to give it a shot, guys. Just give it a shot. Do your best. Why do you think it's important to do this when you're conducting research? This is a very large, quiet class. That's usually how it goes. Because you never know if it's the right information. Very good. Okay, very good. Oh, I love that. Is it Maya? Sorry for calling you out, babe, but that's a really good answer. So that you know 100% that you're getting the right information and not spreading false information. That is the answer, okay? When you're doing research and you're putting this into a research paper or some sort of research presentation, you don't want to be spreading false information, stuff that's not accurate. You want your information to be accurate. And the older you get, when you get into high school, when you get into college, they're gonna do background work and they're gonna check to see that your information and your sources are reliable, okay? So let's start at this level, right? At the 6th grade level. Try finding trustworthy websites before you put that into your research paper, okay? So now what I want you to do, there it is, okay. So we have 2 reliable sources that you could use, okay? One is called TextQuest. Not right now, hon. Sorry, I'm teaching a class right now. Okay, so one is TextQuest. The district pays for this, guys. It will give you nothing but reliable information, Okay, so what I want you to do is go to TextQuest now, so open up another little tab and type in TextQuest. It's not text as in text message, okay? It's TEX. Quest.net. TextQuest.net. And this is a database that you can use.
And go ahead and bookmark this website, y'all. So that little star in the right corner, go ahead and click that star to where it turns yellow.
Where's the first one?
Yes, and you click the star. Go ahead, bookmark it.
It's not up here. It's not.
Ayana, if you want, you can help out the office today, babe. I'm sorry I'm teaching today. And tomorrow too, if you want.
Yes.
You have a question?
Go ahead, bookmark it. Turn the star either yellow or purple.
Open a different tab and type that in. And I'll leave it up here so you can see it. Yeah. Okay, so once you get there, guys, I see that a lot of you are already there. Open it up on my end. Okay, you're gonna go to middle school. And I haven't gotten details about your project yet.
It'll be a researching countries.
Oh, cool, okay. So for the password, let me go back. That's your password. It's a capital L, a number 3, star, and then RN or lowercase. And are they gonna be able to choose whatever country you want?
They're pulling a country out of the jar.
All right, guys. So go ahead and go to SMCISD, San Marcos ISD. And you're gonna put in that password. Who's already done all that? You already done all that.
Wait, what's our major district?
San Marcos ISD. You can just type it too, it's faster. San Marcos. State. There it is. Okay, click on that and then put in the password. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this with you guys. It's not letting me type it in. Okay. Can you raise your hand if you're already in? Okay, good. All right, so once we get in, I'm gonna save it just so it's already there. I like to go to middle school right here. The purple button. Okay, and right there, just to make it quick, instead of you having to go to a million different links, you could type in directly. Okay, so whatever country you end up pulling out of a jar, you could type it in there. But just if you want to test it out right now, you can put in United States of America or Australia. Did you already put the district though? We need to scroll through the district and find San Marcos CISD. That's gonna give me a lot of results, okay? Okay, so as you can see, guys, I need your eyes up here. Okay? So there's gonna be a lot of information. Once you put in your country, they're gonna give you a lot of information. So I'm just gonna pick one. You can read through them though. Okay, I'm just gonna pick one. And the main thing I really want to focus on is telling you all that it has this little citation link. Do y'all see it up there at the top? Okay. Ms. Walker, do you have them cite their sources?
Yes, they will this year.
Okay, so right here, guys, everyone's eyes are up here because you're gonna put it into your project. You could just copy this link and add it to your presentation. Why do you think it's important for us to cite our sources? Somebody tell me. Why do I need to cite my sources? Yes.
So then you have evidence?
So you have evidence, right? You have to give credit to the person that wrote it. Because if you don't give credit to the person that wrote it, what are you doing?
Plagiarism?
Plagiarism, guys, you're plagiarizing. And the consequences for that only get more and more severe the older you get, okay? So you always need to cite your sources. All right, so here's one database that you can use. Another one is Google Scholar, and I'm just gonna show it to you briefly. You guys don't need to go to this, okay? All right, so Google Scholar is another database that you can use for your research project. And I'm pretty sure Ms. Walker will remind you later that you can use TextQuest and Google Scholar. The only thing with Google Scholar, guys, is I think TextQuest is a little bit better because it's geared for your age group. Okay, so the articles are a little bit shorter. It's written in a way that you might understand better than if you were to go to Google Scholar. They might use bigger vocabulary. The articles might be a little longer. So it might be a little bit more challenging to understand the information as opposed to TextQuest, okay? But I suggest you trying out both just to see which one you like more, okay? But personally, for your age group, I think TextQuest is better in my opinion, okay? Do y'all have any questions? No, my quiet class. Any questions before I let you go? No? Do you feel like you're ready for your research project? No, I'm getting scared faces still. Okay, I want to let you know that we do still have books. Are they allowed to use books? Okay, so I have books on countries and things like that also in my nonfiction. The only thing is that section is getting redone right now, okay? When I inherited this library, it was very unorganized, so I'm fixing that, but it should be ready by the time your project comes around, okay? So whenever your project comes around, you come and you just ask me, okay? My office is right there. Any questions? All right, guys.
What do we say?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go ahead and close your Chromebooks.
Go ahead, sign out.